but still we must do justice on our items. Thank you very much. Let me take this opportunity to greet everybody in the House. I must greet the Chairperson in absentia and the Deputy Chairperson of NCOP, the Chairperson of SALGA, Minister in absentia and the Deputy Minister, all the MPs. The Chief Whip is here, I must start there because otherwise I'll get a whip. The Chief Whip, members of Parliament, members from provinces, MECs, councillors, all protocol observed. Let us now continue with the program. As I indicated, we've missed some minutes already, and therefore we'll have to catch up. We were supposed to have started at 25 to 12. It's now almost 12:30. That's a lot of time that we missed. I have two people who will be coming to do some presentations here, and each one of them is afforded 20 minutes to do so. The first one to come and will be indicating in terms of the roles of NCOP, it will be the Deputy Chairperson, Honorable R.J. Tau. Let me allow him to come forward. It will be better to sit here next to me. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Chairperson of the session. Because of you have indicated the issue of time, may I therefore observe protocol. And try to run through some of the issues to save some time, because others would be obviously an emphasis on issues that have already been raised. Let me start by saying that on behalf of the NCOP, I would like to convey our best wishes and sincere appreciation to the leadership of SALGA in partnering with us in this important event, which continues to ensure that we carry our mandate to the best of our abilities. The Constitution directs that government is constituted as national, provincial, and local spheres which are distinctive, independent, and of course, interrelated. The NCOP as an institution, of course, represents the interests of provinces, and which is the center or plays that central role in fulfilling the principles of cooperative government and intergovernmental relations. In the South African experience, cooperative government and intergovernmental relations is a precise or system that exists within the three spheres of government to promote and foster the strengthening of their well-being and existence for the betterment of service delivery. This intergovernmental regime was conceived as one that would supplement and complement our new system of local government, and the intergovernmental relations framework was seen as a key defining piece of legislation completing our legislative framework. Our intergovernmental relations regime derives its existence from Chapter 3 of the Constitution, and for which I want to put it to this session that we need to further familiarize ourselves with that chapter. The Constitution further recognizes that these three spheres of government cannot function in isolation. Therefore, cooperation and coordination is critical to the successful transformation of the state and survival of our local government system. According to our Constitution, each sphere must respect the constitutional status, powers, and functions of the other, and each should exercise its powers and perform its functions without encroaching on geographical, functional, or institutional integrity of the other. In dealing with intergovernmental relations, in 2010 we saw it fit to amend our rules by inserting Rule 14B1 to the NCOP rules to promote cooperative governance and to facilitate sound intergovernmental relations regime within and across the three spheres of government and across organs of the state. In the 5th Parliament, the IGR has been taken further and adopted as an overarching strategic theme for this term of Parliament, meaning that the political injunction by the chairperson of the NCOP that IGR becomes the strategic central theme informing our work is firmly located within the tasks that we will be faced with in this term of Parliament. In the context of the injunction, the NCOP will first and foremost strive to elevate the role of the people as active participants in promoting, consolidating, deepening democracy and accountability by creating more space in a people-centered and friendly environment. At the center of the challenges raised by the National Development Plan. This year's Local Government Week takes place, of course, as mentioned before, during a very strategic month of remembering the heroines that led us transformative local government. We also meet here today on the month set aside to celebrate and commemorate 2011. Among the key guiding principles of this theme is to try to locate and define the future vision for local government within the context of the NDP. This initiative is an important milestone in the history of engagement between the NCOP and SALGA. It serves as an important means towards fulfilling the constitutional injunction that I've mentioned before. This year's Local Government Week continues to reflect on the state of local government to meet the targets we have set ourselves in terms of being an activist parliament and credible and reliable voice of our people. I wish to acknowledge that this House continues to play a much greater developmental role in ongoing assessment of the capabilities that we need and adjustments to the institutional arrangements, which is something that Minister Kodan also to, on how then do we position ourselves in this evolutionary process. The portfolio of IGR in the NCOP is relatively new in governmental relations. Local Government Week we had, so I won't speak much on it. Therefore, I'm happy to report that the participation of SALGA in proceeding, it's proceeding quite well ever since. It was not easy at first because it was a new thing. We all didn't understand what this thing is. How is this animal going to be positioned? What are the ingredients? What is it that we're supposed to do as the NCOP? SALGA also was trying to find itself on as to whether, but exactly what is this thing? But ever since 2010, we are then beginning now to add more meat to this bone that we have picked up as we move forward. As an institution that straddles the three spheres of government, we then saw it then that we are better placed to promote cooperative and good intergovernmental relations. It is again the only house where the public is able to engage and participate with all spheres of government under the one roof, e.g. Our program, our flagship program of taking Parliament to the people. We would remember that one of the things that we always do in implementing that program, our entry point is always local government, and we always emphasize the role that SALGA needs to play, especially when it comes to our program of taking Parliament to the people. As part of our fulfillment towards responding to the resolutions of our last Local Government Week, We convened a workshop with the Auditor General as well as provincial legislatures and SALGA, a program that has been put in place to institutionalize the engagement with the Auditor General. That is why, upon his introduction, I mentioned that he's a strategic partner in this whole process. The objective was, of course, to ensure that recommendations arising from the workshop improve audit outcomes and usher in a shift from the current pattern of municipal profiles. This is what
to ensure that there is a sense of oversight in municipalities, and we are able to separate what the executive does and the oversight responsibility. Pillar 3 in relation to good governance, I think I would have indicated that because of the negative narrative in the sector, SALGA has pulled up an anti-corruption summit in 2013, and all mayors across our country signed a pledge to the effect that we will not be able to accept in our municipalities, and it's one practical way that the sector has put in ensuring that we change the narrative. And over a period, almost all municipalities have developed a framework, a policy on anti-corruption. And we have begun to see some changes in some municipalities. And I think earlier on when the minister was presenting, you would have picked that there will be new issues that are coming out that are important for municipalities, that there's a change of narrative in how things are happening there. SALGA in partnership with partners also going back to implement the back to basic leadership development program, and almost 250 officials have been trained from different municipalities, 29 from KwaZulu-Natal, Eastern Cape, 9 and 6 from the Northwest. And that intervention is very important because again, it has been said that there's a deficiency of proper leadership in local government, and the response to help improve that narrative has also been engaged, that we train people. In relation to Pillar 4, sound financial management, of going back to basic, equitable fiscal framework, on conditional grants, National Treasury and the FFC conducted analysis of local government conditional grants, a review of infrastructure grants, our district funding arrangements, unfunded mandates, and that helps to improve the information in the sector so that we are able to all to respond. And that discussion would also be the work that SALGA has influenced to get it done. Pillar 4, sound management, as I've indicated, we have established a program in a mode to respond to what the Auditor General would have raised, and there's been hand-on support to different municipalities in our country. And that program is called, it's based on 4 pillars: leadership, governance, financial management, institutional capacity. And it is assisting municipalities who are in the red, in particular those who have now been in adverse status. So there's been a way to help change the state of the municipalities on what needs to be done. Municipal audit support program, I think that's the point that I've made, that what has been the work of SALGA to respond, because sometimes it is said that little has been done on the sector and the responsibilities of the national and provincial. But SALGA has taken hands-on support to support municipalities, and I would have indicated what has happened in different municipalities, both largely in the Eastern Cape and Northern Cape and the Eastern Cape. The picture of SALGA is also very important to understand that 2015, 2016, you would have known that there was a time where SALGA was in total red, and over years we have moved to a state where everything is red. It's in our municipalities that we have to move all municipalities that are in the red to be, and I think I've made a point by 2020, 2021, the whole discourse of local government must change to a point where at least 43 municipalities must be in a clean audit, 53 must be an unqualified, and there will never be adverse or disclaimer in the state of local government. And therefore, the emphasis of about sound financial management in relation to Pillar 4 of the B2B. During 2015 Winter Budget Forum, we have engaged both National Treasury and COCTA that demarcation costs and funding required, powers and functions, and ensure that we provide a better support to municipalities, local government fiscal sustainability, local government infrastructure grants review, promoting urban development and municipal finances. So there's been a way to emphasize that if we were to get municipalities to be better, there's a need for us to review the national fiscals, and we're able to deal with things that are affecting municipalities. And the last pillar, which is building capacities and data-driven planning, SALGA has initiated in a project called Municipal Barometer. At the core of it is to address fragmented nature of local government level data. You would know that everybody is doing something in fragmented ways, and we have developed a barometer which was initiated by, in partnership with Development Bank, City Networks, and State South Africa, and the Demarcation Board, that we together work and pull all relevant data for local municipalities, and that will help to shape the policy discourse in the sector of local government. And that has generated actually insightful information about municipalities and how to monitor progress in the sector. Pillar 5, which is building capacities, and through the important thing that SALGA would have done in the recent time was to establish a center for leadership and governance, and more to respond to the deficiencies of leadership skills and ensure that there's a better sharing. Half the time, municipalities are flying outside the country to look for learning, reflecting, and sharing, but we thought we should create that base in the country and are able to say, let's all share from each other as municipalities of the country. So, important thing that we should record is that it's gonna be a way this pillar is going to respond better to what we would have raised as municipalities, that there's problems on leadership and governance. I think this center is going to help us do better. Relatively, and to ensure that SALGA family, the center is poised to offer local leaders a valuable base offering. Ensure that all councillors who would come in the next term then are better introduced to the sector and better ensure that the knowledge grows better for them. And so far we have been able to secure over 14 million to funding from local government sector. And the center is in the process of concluding peer learning agreements and counterparts in Malawi, so we are equally doing work outside the country to help municipalities to do better. Pillar 5, which is also continuing, we can reflect on how many councils are trained over the 15 years. So lastly, we have increased the knowledge of local government in the sector, and people have begun to benefit better and get people to be ready. So one thing that we thought we should recommend for the week, local government week, is to celebrate the milestones that we have covered over the 50 years. We should also celebrate the success and achievement during the term and in the few last that are remaining. And same time, we should acknowledge that there will be remains issues that we need to be dealt with. I think that earlier on, the minister would have made a point that there are positives somewhere, but we still have to work hard. So we can't afford to be complacent on what needs to be done moving forward. So in that, we think the local government week should be able to help us shape the discussions better, and we're able to work together as three spheres of government to change and to ensure that we respond to the call of our people. In that program, Chair, I want to thank you.
Round of applause, please. Thank you very much. I'm going to allow the House to enter into discussions in terms of what was presented by the two presenters. We are aware that Honorable Tau indicated in terms of the roles that the NCOP, in terms of what the NCOP is doing. And he also, in his presentation, entered into the benefits of having a local government week and indicating that it is a workshop and indicating that in the workshop, what you want to do or what you want to see, it's resolutions that we are taking or way forward that we are taking and implement some of the issues that we are talking about at these levels. And what made me happy here is that it is not all of us who were part of the local government week in 2012 and 2013. And after the national and provincial elections, we have now new members who are sitting and experiencing this for the first time. And most of those are having questions like Honorable Tau was saying in terms of what is this animal? Is it going to help us? What is it? What is it that is aiming to achieve? And later on, realized that this is a strategic tool that will help us to achieve more in terms of all the spheres of government. And therefore, let us then use this tool to our benefits. And thank you very much, Councillor, the Deputy Chairperson Nawa, because you have indicated in terms of the track record, if one may say, the 15 years, and you could do this presentation in less than 10 minutes because you started on other issues. And thank you to Honorable Tau that the 10 minutes that you left now I could use. You took long, but I kept quiet because it was the 10 minutes that Honorable Tau could not use. I am aware that we must go for lunch now. The House will advise me whether we take discussions or we come back after lunch and do that. I was made aware, leadership, that after lunch we are supposed to have 2 other municipalities who must do presentations and they are not present. And their time has been allocated in the program. Advice, Honorable Member?
No, thank you, Chair. Looking at the next presentations, they are almost talking about local government. Progressively, one would say, can't we go for lunch? When we come back, after the presentations, then we have a lengthy discussions that will infuse all the presentations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm a councillor, and what I would want to see is that the proposal put forward, is it supported? Kutlwa honale agreed, Ntate Nyambi, Honorable Nyambi.
I wanted to remind you, Chair, that already a decision was taken earlier on that wellness people won't agree. Some of us are diabetic, so if it's lunch, it's lunch.
Thank you very much. This session is adjourned. Thank you. Hi. Honorable members, can we be back here at 2:15, please? Thank you very much.
Purpose 2.
Ke awa ke re.
You know what I'm thinking?